Welcome back, everyone. Yes, indeed, KBS Live. We've got a nice chilled out little stream to get into today before we head on over to the main show. And yes, the dodgy tunes, they continue. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Yes, indeed, another day, another live stream. I hope you're all doing well out there. If you're in the UK, I hope you're all feeling good. Not feeling too bad after your sternly worded warning from Uncle Boris. Less of that. Well, let's get into what we've got to talk about today, because I've got actually quite a cool wee story about something I've always been interested in. It's the Titanic. And yep, it's back in the news. Somebody has come up with a new theory, and that's why I've got the little scientist emoji on the thumbnail today. We're going all scientific. We've got a little theory to look at. Trust me, not very scientific. It's all good. And I'm going to start this stream by telling you, if you've got anything more productive to be doing, if you've got any hot research that you're on, if you're looking for the answers to the big questions, unfortunately, I can't tell you this is going to be the place for you. Because I'm just goofing off, chilling out and getting ready before we turn up the serious notch and head on over to the Kev Baker Show on Truth Frequency Radio. And today it's my good friend all the way from Canada. It's Don Wiskin in hour number 1. Then in hour number 2, I'm going to have the phone lines open for all of you. Didn't mean it to rhyme, but it did. And maybe we'll hear from Kevin from Minnesota. We'll hear how his role for US went. Maybe we'll hear from one of you out there. We can take it woo, we can be serious, you can talk about anything you like, and that will happen immediately after today's stream. So I don't really know what's happened to the chat. I'll try and get it going. Usually we have it on the screen, but it's just not playing ball these days. Just not playing ball at all. Hopefully that'll be it coming in. There we go. There we go. Fixed it. Just like that. So, we've also got a story today that is to do with Wales. Yes, we've got a story about a rogue signal that was knocking everybody's internet out at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yep, every morning, internet just out. I mean, we've all been there, right? When technology glitches, oh my word. I mean, it's great when it works. And look at this, we've got full HD. I'm speaking to people all around the world, all 34 of you. It's getting less and less numbers as we go on, folks. Am I getting worse and worse? Am I losing people along the way? Probably, because I don't say the popular things, but that's okay. That's okay. And on top of our strange rogue signal from Wales, we've also got clothes that you just wouldn't be seen. You just wouldn't wear it. They're just not clothes. It's something weird. It's something ridiculous. It's something we can laugh at. And I don't know, but when you see how much money is being asked for the latest hot, trendy, must-have clothing, if you're anything like me, you're just gonna want to bash your head off the table. But before we get going anywhere, go into the chat room. We've got Onslow in there. We've got Buzzacino, Gigi. I like the Gigi. That's a cool name. We've got Video Voyeur. Thumbs up. Big thumbs up to you. Donnie, my brother from another mother in another life, I really do think. Big shout out to you, man. Yama, Donnie. Karen, one of the gherkins. Maybe both gherkins are there. Who knows? You've got to observe them to find out the answer. If you're in a... You get it. You get it. So who else is in there? We've got Bearded Traveller. Little Glob was first today. Big shout out to Little Glob. It totally didn't even mean to come first. She was just, as you do, scrolling through YouTube. And up came KBS, and there she was, first in the chat. Love it. Jules is in there. The King. I seen the King kicking about earlier on. Say something about being the ruler of the wasteland. I'll tremble in fear before you. You see, he's a scary king, isn't he? The King. St. Marionette, good to see you. Spooky Andy. Ah, Spooky Andy. Our famous Spooky Andy. I'm going to be showing you something of Spooky Andy's before we go away today. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, we all know Andy's a cool dude. We know he's super sharp when he's been on the show. Any topic he's covered, from the robotics all the way to the woo. But he's also very, very technically gifted. Very, very creative. And if you're a petrol head, if you're into your motors, stay tuned, because I am going to blow your mind. It's not me, really. It's Andy, but stay tuned for that. Before we go away today, I will show you that. I'm going to write that down right here. So then, yes, indeedy, we'll get into the start of our stories, shall we? I just need to flick this onto here like that for just a moment, just till I do something on the back end here, and then do that. Then I can come over here, and then I can do this, and voila! I appear without the background. Now, on the screen right now, one of my favourite YouTube channels, Jeremy from The Quartering, he's talking about Joe Rogan, and we've been talking about Joe Rogan lately, right? It says Joe Rogan might be losing control of his podcast, Spotify, to edit future episodes. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I haven't checked into this story yet, but this is going to get interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Check out The Quartering, absolutely massive channel. He's getting up near, he's actually near the 1 million subscribers now. I really like the guy. I'm going to try and get him on the show someday. He's probably way too big to come on the Kev Baker show, but we'll try. He covers everything from computer games to the woke culture. He's a bit like myself that way, easily triggered. And look at him. Look at that face. That is the face of a happily toxic male like myself. But anyway, with that out of the way, and I don't even know why I had that on the screen. It wasn't meant to be part of the stream, all right? You got a little glimpse into the kind of stuff I'm watching when I'm not with you. But yeah, the Titanic, that's where we're going to be starting today. And I tell you what, 1912 was it? I think we go back to 1912. Memory serves me correctly. But there's something about the Titanic story that seems to interest most people. At one point in our lives, whether it's when we're young or maybe you've had that interest throughout our lives, it's one of those stories that it's really everyone is pretty much aware of at least something that went on with the Titanic. You'd be struggling to find somebody, that says, I have no idea what the Titanic is. And I would imagine even younger people You know, even younger people today, it's still a big thing. We had the movie, obviously, years back with Leonardo DiCaprio, blah de blah. And we all know the story, right? The iceberg. Pesky icebergs. Well, now somebody has come up with a brand new theory. Now, we're not going to watch the video because it's News 9 down in Australia. And I'm pretty sure News 9 might not be happy at me using their content. But it says the Titanic disaster may have been sparked by the Northern Lights. What? What? Hang on. So the famous Titanic disaster may have been triggered by the Northern Lights, glowing auroras that appear on the night of that appeared on the night of the liner's sinking, according to new research. Now, being familiar with Sid, who comes into the chat room here, he super chats, he's phoned the show on the Kev Baker show, and me having spent time in Norway, the Northern Lights, we're no strangers of talking about that on here. Absolutely phenomenal. Breathtaking. No words really can describe it. You've got to have seen it in all its glory to really appreciate what it is. It's one of those examples where really you're struggling to recreate artificially the kind of colours in the light show that you see the Northern Lights producing. And of course, it's caused by the solar wind coming in off the atmosphere. We know that. But it says a geomagnetic storm behind the lights could have disrupted the RMS Titanic's navigation systems and wireless signals when it sank after hitting an iceberg on April the 14th, 1912. Whew, got the date right. That'd have been embarrassing if I said I was interested in it and then got the date wrong, right? So, unfortunately, more than 1,500 passengers never made it home. Now, this is actually a picture from the Norwegian city of Tromsø, which I've been to. That's right up there at the Arctic Circle, so it is. Yes, indeed. Very cold. Very, very cold. But it says Milla Zenkova, an independent weather researcher, said eyewitness accounts from the fateful night described aurora glows over the region of the North Atlantic where the Titanic went down. And she said the geomagnetic storm might have been strong enough to affect the navigation system of the liner, which was sailing on its maiden voyage. And interference might have disrupted the wireless SOS signal. Da da, no, da da, almost got the wrong way around. I almost said OSO. Don't think I'd have got rescued. See, I wouldn't have been good on the Titanic. Would not have been good. And this was a guy who used to do Morse code, you see. So the signals between the Titanic and nearby vessels, which blocked the distress calls from the sinking ship. Now, it didn't show you that when Leonardo DiCaprio was freezing his knackers off in the Atlantic, did it? No, it didn't show you that when he was holding Rose at the edge of the boat and they were having that mad scene. I'm not going to recreate it. I can't. But yeah, you didn't see the Northern Lights really weren't all that big a thing, or were they? Am I having some Mandela effect? Were there Northern Lights in that movie? Now I've got you thinking. Promised I'd get you thinking. I didn't even promise that. But the magnetic disruption may also be causing havoc with Kev's brain today. I'm having one of these goofy, silly days. But the magnetic disruption may have also saved lives by accidentally sending the Titanic's broadcast position to another vessel, which directed it to the correct location of the liner's lifeboat. So the ship they were trying or hoping to contact, no bueno, nothing, nil, zilch, nothing heard out, help. But in fact, according to this hypothesis, because how on earth's name do we ever test this? According to them, the signal was conveniently diverted to another ship in the area. I don't know. Among the people who observed the Northern Lights that night was James Bissett, an officer from the RMS Carpathia, a steamer that rescued survivors. And he wrote in his log, I thought that said for 1 minute that he wrote in his blog. I was going to say, now there definitely wasn't blogs in 1912, or we are missing a big part of our picture here, right? So he wrote in his log on that night of the Titanic disaster, there was no moon, but the aurora borealis glimmered like moonbeams shooting up from the northern horizon. And the study is actually published in the journal Weather. So, yes, there's actually been a study about this. Yes, indeed. In this article, we investigate how space weather may have affected the navigation and communication of the Titanic in the run up to the disaster and the subsequent rescue operation. The significant weather event was in the form of a moderate to strong geomagnetic storm that observational evidence suggests was in effect in the North Atlantic at the time of the tragedy, and the image shows technology and infrastructure affected by space weather events. So, yes, there we go. Pretty interesting. And the whole story of the Titanic, it's pretty fascinating when you think about it. There's a lot of people say that this wasn't even the Titanic in the first place. I don't know. I wasn't there. I know I look old, but I wasn't at the kind of launching of the Titanic. Bloody hell, folks. Give me peace, right? But the sister ship, was there something wrong with this? Did they swap it out? Was it an insurance job? Did they know this was always going to happen? The thing was on fire before it left Liverpool. Crazy, right? But still very, very interesting. And some of the footage in this video here, we just fast forward it. They're talking about how really with the damage, the length of time it's been down there now, it's inevitably getting in a worse and worse state. How I can preserve that, I have no idea. Can you even attempt to lift some of it? I mean, it's like a living graveyard, right? It makes you wonder what's still down there, though. Remember when James Cameron and all that were going down, they were trying to take the first, like, real decent pictures of it and things? Talk about eerie. Something about that film, Titanic, with Leonardo DiCaprio as well. I don't know. Some films really capture a moment, and I know it's hard to imagine what that moment was like, but it kind of captures the essence of the Titanic story. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the Titanic, there you go. Was it the Northern Lights? Did that affect it in any way? I don't think that had anything to do with the big fat iceberg that ripped into the side of it, but potentially, maybe the signals got diverted. And talking of signals, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, talk about a rogue signal. Imagine getting up every morning. Imagine getting up every morning. And I know we're kind of like, I've got a bit of my fire. It's like I'm kind of going ethereal here. It's like, oh, look, my hands are kind of, it's a bit weird, right? But imagine, if you will, waking up every day. Look at that. Eh? Power of technology, folks. That's NVIDIA AI that does that. Yep. I've been taken over by the AI. It's happened. I'm assimilated. But imagine, again, I've left you imagining for a while now. Long enough, I would imagine. How many times can I say imagine? I don't know. I can't imagine. But yeah, imagine, if you will, waking up every morning. And if you got up after 7 a.m., okay, if you get up after 7 a.m., you're going to wake up to a problem every morning. You know what that problem is? The internet. In 2020, it's going out. How frustrating would that be? And how much worse? How much more confusing does it get when you've got a telecoms company that go and investigate this for about 18 months? They swap out all the cables. They do everything, all that fault finding. They are at their wits' end. They can't work out what's going on. Imagine that. That actually happened. It's actually been ongoing in a place, and I believe it's in Wales. But do you know what was causing the outage? I could almost make it some kind of joke about how old technology started to fight back. See one of these old, and again, you're going to be aging yourself if you can remember this, right? Remember the cathode ray TVs? Remember them? Remember they big bad boys, big thick screen, like NHS glasses, big back on the back of it. You switch it off and the lights would still be there and, oh God, static on it and everything else, right? You remember that things, right? Remember them? That's what was causing the issue. That is what was the problem. Check this out. And it must be true. It's coming from the BBC. Very authoritative source I've got here. Internet. An old TV caused village broadband outages for 18 months. 18 months. Can you believe it? Dang, dude. Is that Jimmy Jeans in the chat room? Hey, Jimmy. How's it going, man? How's it going? Hope you're good. If you're not busy today, oh, hang on. I've got my camera's gone all silly again. Hang on. There we go. Look, see, just like that. Gone. See? AI. Gotta love it. I said that to trigger people. I said it to trigger you. So, Jimmy, what are you doing today, man? I've got Dawn in hour 1, and I don't know what I'm doing in hour 2, man. If you want to come and goof off and hang out with me and Dawn, the offer is there. So it says the mystery of why an entire village lost its broadband every morning at 7 a.m. was solved when engineers discovered an old television set was to blame. Now, an unnamed householder, you better believe he's remaining unnamed. Now, I would imagine everyone in the area knows this cat by now. It only takes one person in a small village. One person to know some. Trust me. I grew up in a small village in Scotland, and it's no different in a rural village in Wales. One person knows, the whole village knows. It's crazy how things spread when you're in a little community. And usually it spreads with the first person telling you, I shouldn't really be telling you this. Or so-and-so told me not to tell anyone. But, do you know that guy down the street? His TV. It was his TV that was doing it. Yeah, so that's how it's going to have got around. But he tries to remain as anonymous as possible. I don't blame him. So it says here, Aberhosen. Is that right, Susie? I hope so. House. Oh, I've got that wrong. Right? Was aware that the old set, he was unaware, sorry, that the old set would emit a signal which would interfere with the entire village's broadband. So after 18 months, engineers began an investigation after a cable replacement program failed to fix the issue. And the embarrassed householder promised not to use the television again. So the village now has a stable broadband signal. OpenReach engineers were baffled by the continuous problem, and it wasn't until they used a monitoring device that they found the fault. The householder would switch on their television set at 7 a.m. every morning, and electrical interference emitted by the second-hand television was affecting broadband, and the owner, who does not want to be identified, he truly does want to remain anonymous, this cat, was mortified to find out that his old TV was causing problems, according to OpenReach. So it would have been funnier. I think it would have been funnier if it had been some old guy, some old holdout to the old age, sitting there with like a big kind of old style radio. He's probably got the kind of the record player. He's got his vinyl there. I'm thinking of all the old analog stuff. Trying to think back to that old world of just a few years ago. And every day he's sitting there at 7 o'clock like Desmond on Lost, pressing the button. He's like, get it right up, you techno lovers. I am... And he's sitting there loving it all day until he goes to bed at night. It doesn't even tell you in the story when he went to bed at night. I was just picturing this whole village sitting there until 10 o'clock or 11 p.m. waiting for this bugger to go to bed. And then, boof, the internet would come on. Well, lights would come down from the sky. It would be everyone partying right up until 7 a.m. the next morning when he gets up and thinks, get it right up, you. Psh, press the button. Who knew? Who knew that maybe an old television set could be the weapon to set us free from all of this assimilation into the Matrix, huh? Think about it. Telling you, might be time to get one. Might be time to get yourself an old TV. Fight back. Yes, indeed. So listen, I'm going to take a little drink of juice, wet my whistle, come back into it. We've got another story about something you would never be seeing. Oh, folks, men out there, wait till you see the latest garment that they're trying to make us wear. This is just cray stuff. It truly is. But I'll be back in about a minute. get a drink of Coke, do what I got to do, and then we'll get right back into it. Lots more to come. Well, maybe not lots more, but still some more to come here on today's pre-show stream, right? Funky tunes, And we've still got Spooky Andy, the famous Spooky Andy. This sounds like the music to Jimmy's Cougar Club. Come on in. Yep. Thank you, ZX. Yes, we are climbing steadily towards our 5,000 subscribers. It means nothing in great terms of the algorithm, but it'll give us all a great sense of pride. Because since we've come over here 6 months, and this channel is growing nicely. Oh, yeah. So yeah, Joe Rogan, if you want to know what it's like to be censored, just hit me up, brother. I can tell you all about it, you know? Blue days in the chat room. Ah, yes, indeedy. Indeed, weapon. Indeed. Spark 'em if you've got 'em. There we go. Yes, indeed. We can turn down that tunes. That's definitely Jimmy type music there, man. If you don't check out Jimmy's stream, why aren't you checking out Jimmy's stream? Jimmy, he does a lot of streaming here on YouTube into the microcosm. Please check him out. And of course, we'll be taking a look at one of our own, our Spooky Andy, real soon as well. Dang, dude. Now, again, if you're into cars, get ready. Just get ready. It's all I'm going to say. Damn. I mean, I'm not exactly a big, like, car guy, big petrol head. Used to hang about with a bunch of them when I was younger, growing up. Up my way, a lot of people into rallying because of the forestry roads. So a lot of people used to pimp out their cars. Nothing, absolutely nothing like what I'm going to show you very, very soon. But we aren't there yet. We aren't there yet. Because I want to tempt you. I want to tempt you into purchasing the next big must-have item. Well, I say must-have item only if you're of a certain mindset and of a certain size of bank account. Because, you know, we've looked at some ridiculous type clothing in the past. We've had jeans where basically there's no jeans left. There's that many rips in them. We've also had a good laugh, and I've got triggered at people and their desire to leave their mankles hanging out. These silly men that wear trousers that are too short for them. Well, now, I don't know if this is a garment for men, women, or Z.
Excuse me, it's man.
Or that. But what if I was to tell you, you could get your very own grass-stained organic denim overalls for a cheeky, you ready? $1,400. Yes, there they are, folks. This year's must-have eco-warrior fashion is grass-stained overalls for $1,400. Now, if any of you out there have $1,400 to spare on a pair of Gucci overalls that look like you've been up to no good in the long grass, then please consider my PayPal link in the description. I might not give you everything that a pair of Gucci gas stained, not strained in gas, but they're stained in gas overalls. But I tell you what, I'll give you something to laugh at, I promise. And I'll last longer than these dungarees, these overalls, whatever you want to call this monstrosity. And I'm not talking about the person. I'm not calling them a monstrosity. I'm talking about that. You think I'm lying? You know I don't lie, folks. You don't need to lie in this world anymore, because there you go. Would you buy $1,400 overalls? Did I say 14 or 18? Either way, does it really make a difference? Did anyone think, oh, well, if it's only 1,400, I might get them, Kev? What are you talking about? Designers, and I use that term in the real loosest sense of the word, like as in really, really nowhere near the correct definition of a designer, because nobody should be wanting to put their name to these things, okay? But it says have created a strange item in the name of fashion. And do you know why this encourages me? Because I would expect websites like Yahoo News to go, you must have this. You know, if we get enough people to wear these grass-stained overalls, I got it right first time that time, then we'll save the planet. All we need is enough of you to get these overalls.
How dare you?
I know. Who am I to deny the world's savior by a set of overalls? But hey. So Moschino once released a clear dress that looked like a plastic dry cleaning bag. Are we so politically correct that the boss of Gucci is scared to fire this clown? This guy doesn't sound like he knows how to design clothes. Or she. I'm confused. Moschino, they. Safer to use they, I would imagine. Maybe.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I'm open to that. Balenciaga made a blue dress that many liken to an IKEA bag. And don't forget the 1,000 sterling silver tin can sold by Tiffany & Co. Now, I need to take a look at that. Well, let's just see what they're on about here. 15. Oh, we'll come back to that in a second. And that's a good little rundown of all the ridiculous stuff. So Gucci is selling overalls with fake grass stains on the legs for a cool 1,400 wallopers. Oh, get some of that down you. Can I have 2 sets, please? The luxury brand's eco-washed original denim overall is made from organic cotton, quote, specifically treated for a stained-like distressed effect. According to the description, Gucci said it was aiming for what it calls a grunge vibe. I'm sorry, but if you're in Glasgow, there might be another description, like you're absolutely a boggin. Maybe you'd get told to go and wash your denims, man. Go and put a clean set on. You know, when did this become a thing? Dirty clothes. What the heck? So Gucci explores new takes on cult fabric, reinterpreting it with a different design and washing techniques that blur the line between vintage and contemporary. And may I add to that, the absolute absurd. It definitely blurs that line between reality and absurdity. The overalls may look like your favourite piece of work denim, all faded blue and strong grass stains near the bottom of the legs, but they bear one major difference. A Gucci label sewn onto the pocket. So if you know anyone, right, if you know like any landscapers or anything like that, all you got to do is go out there to say to them, like, oh, can I get like a pair of your old dirty dungarees? What do you want a pair of my old dirty dungarees for, you absolute freak ball? And don't be surprised if you get called strange for wanting second-hand dungarees. I'm just saying. But you might be able to get away with a really fly one here, right? I would imagine, I wouldn't encourage, but I would imagine there's plenty of places where you can get little badges that look really like Gucci. So you can go 2 roads here, really. You can make yourself look like a complete tosser, but by going the cheap route, getting the second-hand pair, badge on, looking good, right? Although people with like the money to get the real deal will probably know that you're not quite wearing the real ones, and you're going to look like a total. I can't even say it. I can't even say the word. Or you could maybe see a bit of a market here. Are you seeing where my capitalist mind is going? Could you knock up some fake Gucci denim dungarees? I think when they look worn, filthy, and ready for the bin, I think probably that's the route that most people will take. Can't encourage it. And probably knowing my luck now, somebody's going to buy me a pair of these for my Christmas. Maybe my mum's got me a pair. If my mum had the money to get me a pair of Gucci dungarees, trust me, folks, I don't think I'd be sitting here streaming right now. Trust me. If you've got enough money out there to be buying Gucci dungarees, then please, please, please contact me after the show, and I've definitely got a better investment plan for any of that money. Okay? So before we go and look at Spooky Andy, before we start to wrap this up and get ready for the main game in town over on tfrlive.com, just remind everyone, remember to share the link. Let's get it up to 5,000. I am now going to make the video. Notice I say I am now going to make the video for the channel memberships. It's getting really hard to keep the actual internet going round here, and I can only do what I do it thanks to the people that have helped out. I'm not telling people to help today. I want to thank the people who have helped out. And Patreon is something that I really neglect to give much attention to. We set that up years ago when the first kind of wave of demonetization happened. And back then, when people jumped on, they got it. They knew it was like to give me that kind of safety net, help me get by. And a number of people have stayed on it, but I really don't give them value for money. So that's something that's going to have to change. I've got the memberships coming. And the point being, folks, that what we do here are fun, are chilling out, and into the deep woo. We had some good woo yesterday with the Templar stuff. And we're going to get guests on to the YouTube channel exclusively as well in the next few weeks. A lot of good woo, probably on a Saturday, because I don't do many streams on a Saturday. Usually that's my day off. So, point being, I just want to thank all of you who have supported the show. You don't know how much of a part you've played in the background to keep all of this going. When you've got the fast internet and everything else that you need to do the streams, it's not cheap, especially when you're sat here not working. So again, thank you very, very much for supporting the show. And the memberships, you don't have to join. We're still going to be doing everything we do here. Sure, there'll be the members only stream that the members will get, but that won't have, it's not going to be as if we're putting everything behind a paywall here. And I know most of the people tuning in accept that. And I think it's kind of all right. I thought it was really good when we had it over on the big channel. But of course, that can get taken away in a heartbeat as well. So we'll improvise, we'll adapt, we'll overcome. We'll get the memberships on for as long as they stay on. I think you can see I'm trying to keep it pretty much YouTube friendly on this channel, because even if we don't grow to exponential size, it's where we can all come together. We all kind of know each other here as well. And this is the kind of base that we can build on for that KBS brand, that we need to find other places as well where we can upload the videos. Some of the shows that aren't YouTube friendly, I get it. But that's not fair on the guests that come on and the time they put in. People like Nano, people like Charlie, the list goes on. So I'm going to have to be asking all of you where it is that you go for alternative video sites. Where is it you go? Where are you happiest with? Where would you like to see KBS popping up? Periscope is something that I'm looking at right now. Twitch TV, it's ready to go as well. So long-winded way, I get it, of saying thank you all, and I'll be back in a moment, so we can take a look at one of our supporters, and Andy is somebody that's helped me greatly across the past year or so. I can't thank him enough. And we're going to take a look at his smashing motor just after these crazy short messages, and I'm going to randomly play one of my tunes. I don't know what one it'll be. Let's see what we get here. I think this might actually be from Westworld. 'Cause 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 Is it? Yeah, I think it is. There you go. And yes, it's from the YouTube library. It's friendly. That there. That's Spooky Andy. Not only that, Spooky Andy built that car. There we go. There we go. I want to give a big shout out to Hoonahan. Hoonigan Autofocus. It might be Hoonahan Autofocus. 250,000 subscribers. I'm subscribed to the channel. I urge you all to do that. But there he is, the man himself, Spooky Andy. So yeah, that was his car you seen drifting there. There's another shot of it. Hang on, get a better shot of it here, I think. Maybe. There you go. There's another shot of it there. What a beast. What a beast. Buzzacino says, I think KBS would do well on Twitch. Buzz, I'm not that familiar with Twitch. But I know people go on there and do just talking kind of streaming. We've got the phone line on Skype, so we could even open up a phone line on a Twitch show. Will we try and launch like a Twitch show on a Saturday, maybe? Would that be the way to go? But, thanks for that brand YouTube library, BitChute. A lot who I watch are on those. Yep. A-team assembled. Where KBS goes, we will follow. Karen. Wow. Dang. But yeah. Listen. Andy's obviously the guy. We've seen his workshop when he was carving out the star, the star hole in my stone. I've got my I kind of pointed there like you could see it, but I forgot them all kind of cut out now. But yeah, what a talented dude. This was after Freaky Friday. After Freaky Friday he showed me. So it was like maybe 3:30 in the morning. This video is like half an hour, and I'm not a big car guy, but wow, you don't need to be an expert in cars to know that you're looking at something genius. And the guy that does the Hoonahan motors, this dude here, great guy. He was aroused. I don't say that lightly. He was definitely aroused looking at Andy's car, and I mean that in a perfectly heterosexual way, but he was excited. And I would imagine a guy that goes about on a channel looking at cars every day, every week, every year, you know, you're probably gonna see pretty much everything after a while, right? But this car here, like a custom build, this dude was absolutely, like I say, he was aroused in the nicest possible sense of the word. Yes, he was. So listen, folks, I'm gonna head on over. I need to get ready now to go and get Dawn whisking. And when I get Dawn, we'll be opening up the phone lines as we usually do when Dawn's on. And then in hour number 2 as well, the phone lines will be staying open. I've got a couple of stories that we can look at. In hour number 2 tonight, in fact, I've got a video I want to play. It's 9 minutes or so long, but I think it's information that you need to hear. It comes from research that Dutch Synths has been doing. That should whet your appetite and show you the kind of direction we're going there. Again, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting me, for showing faith and trust in me, continuing to do so, for coming along for these streams. I know that they're blatantly, I'm going to tell you right now, these streams are a distraction from the madness in the real world. And they help me get focused and get my mojo, get my broadcasting head on for the main show. And I think it's a good way to extend the time of KBS. We've got this extra hour before the show. And if you're in Discord, sometimes you even get like an extra 15, 30 minutes with whoever the guest is on Disco after the show. I know. It's just expanding all the time. We're always growing. But if you do want to support the stream, PayPal is in the description. Much appreciated. I'll be back in 20 minutes and I'll be back tomorrow with another stream. Tomorrow we're going deep woo again. Deep woo. And I'll try and find one silly story from around the world. I say try and find one because when you go looking for one, you usually find several. It's kind of quantum. It's like the rabbit holes just keep on opening up. 2020, it's a great year to be a podcaster. It truly, truly is. And it's a great year to be here with all of you. So, until 10 minutes or time or so, keep it real. You know what's coming next. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo.